is okay.
I never said it was okay.
I mean, cause it's like when you say how could you blame them, it's like yeah. In one way, you do want to try to put yourself as being a blissful 19-year-old with all this opportunity, right? Because we all didn't have all these different experiences, right? So it's like you try to really make up this little scenario, but it's like when you think about yourself, do you think that you would just be blowing money? Do you think you would be
But
doing?
see, that's exactly. But you making my point though. Way I was raised, it's not saying it's gonna anything like the way Kodak or maybe NBA YoungBoy was raised. I didn't grow up playing with guns and shit or having to rob people. And I grew up in the church. I grew up going to school. The worst shit I got into was mischief. I didn't have to go. I lived in California where I was around gang activity and shit. But my grandma didn't want to see by the time the street lights came on. My nigga, like I was one of them kids. Yeah, I got into fights and shit, and I got in it. I went out and, I've been in situations, where gunplay was involved and shit, but it wasn't my childhood. Like, I grew up in the country. I rode horses and went hunting and fishing and shit, rode dirt bikes, played in the street hockey and shit. That's not what I saw. So when you ask me would I have done that? No. Since I was a child, I've always called my elders yes ma'am and no ma'am. Like, I don't care who they were, if they was a janitor or a principal or a CEO, it's yes sir, no ma'am, like at all times. So the things that Kodak said, of course, I would never say that because that's just not the way I was raised or how. But you do better when you know better. You know what I mean? So I'm saying them two young men coming from their situations, coming into a bunch of money quick. You wasn't trained like we were trained by our parents, or maybe they didn't have that supervision that we had. Now as they get older, that's why I said that's stuff that they gotta learn. That as growing as the men, because now they got money, they're gonna start seeing that other side of life. They're gonna start seeing how in certain rooms you can act a certain way, in other rooms you can't. Start seeing that your appearance, how important your appearance is, and stuff like that. When it comes to public perception, but I'm saying like them. And from their situation compared to other people, it's just not the same. So I'm saying I felt sorry for him to the point where he was ignorant to a lot of the shit he was saying. He just thought it was cool. He was being a kid. But him having a lot of money allows his mistakes to gonna be bigger. He's in the spotlight. It's people looking up to him now and shit. He hasn't grasped that yet because he's still a child himself. It's like when somebody's saying a child raising a child and shit. These kids are looking up to him and shit, but he just a kid himself. He making these mistakes as he go. You know what I mean? So how can you truly follow him all the way until he has had the opportunity to go like Pac? Pac did because he didn't have time to grow and mature and see that the decisions he was making, even though he was a rebel and for the cause and shit, he did a lot of stupid shit. Like going in Vegas and getting into that brawl and shit and all of that. When nobody told him to get involved in that, he went and he just charged up, got sparked up, and went and jumped on. Or what's the dude named Orlando or whatever his name was, and jumped on him. Nobody told Pac to go handle that. You got guards and hood niggas for this that'll reach you right now, but you the first nigga over there, and you ain't really from this shit. Like, okay, that's dumb shit. But as if he would have had the chance to grow as a man, he wouldn't have did that. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying you don't take accountability for your actions. He had to go sit down.
I was gonna down there and say
you know
like
what I mean?
that could be somebody would say